Hey, ECC Southtown family and friends. I want to welcome you and thank you again for joining us. This is day 3 of this devotional journey that we're on together as we're looking at the different stations of the cross. And today, what we're going to be looking at is station 3, which is Jesus falls. And so, in this case here, I'll make my face a little bit bigger. Hold on. There we go. I'm going to start off with a verse. And the verse that we have is Psalm 38, verses 6 and verses 10, and it's kind of broken up and concise. But it says, "I am bowed down and brought very low. My strength fails me." Now I don't know about y'all, but I'm sure there's a lot of people out there today who are really resonating with this verse. They feel like you are bowed down and brought very low, and like your strength is failing you just because of everything that's going on. And in this case here, the connection is we see the same thing happen to Jesus, and so at this point here, what we're looking at is, remember this, the last station, we're looking at Jesus taking up his cross after being tortured and beaten and bruised and to the point of near death. And it's at this point here, like we see in Mark chapter 15, verses 21 through 22, that Jesus actually needed help. He was no longer able to physically carry that cross and continue. And this also reflects on right before he is arrested and what we see in the Garden of Gethsemane. And when Jesus is praying, we see that he is so distressed and troubled that he is overwhelmed with sorrow, like it says here, to the point of death. And over, Jesus is crying out in prayer. And this is, remember again, this is before he's going to be arrested. And he's crying out and he says, "Father, take this cup from me." But over and over again, what he also says is, "But let not my will, but your will be done." Hold on, sweetie. And he's praying this over and over. And it is only through this prayer that he is able to overcome that fear and despair. And the lesson that to get from that is not only was Jesus fully God, but he was also fully man. And his flesh, our earthly flesh, was also weak. But Jesus finds strength in that prayer. Jesus finds his strength in trusting in Father. And when he's actually physically carrying the cross, he finds strength. He finds strength in the help of his fellow man, another one that he was coming to save. And so, like it says here at the end, Jesus gains his victory before he's crucified by watching and praying, by going to the cross spiritually. And Jesus is showing us the same thing through any trials and temptations. 3 times it says that Jesus prayed, "Abba, Father, not what I will, but your will be done." And God's will was done. My daughter's still in the spotlight. And so I want to close with this prayer. If you feel like your strength is fading, if you feel like, like your strength is going to fail you, then, like it says here in the prayer, identify a burden that's weighing you down and tell God how it feels for you. Imagine Jesus is with his arms open to you, and lay your burdens down and lay it at the Father's feet and let him hold you in his love. And so at this time, just like what we said yesterday, if you need that prayer, then reach out to someone. Reach out. Reach out to your Father first, our Heavenly Father, and say, "Lord, I need your strength. This burden is too much, but let your will be done." And reach out to him and he will hear you. And reach out to our fellow brothers and sisters in this time. I know there's a lot of people who need to hear a kind word, need to experience that love and mercy because they may not be feeling it at this moment. And I know that if I were in that place, if I were at that point where I feel my strength was failing, I know that I would be so grateful to have a brother and sister lift me up and say, "Hey, you know what? I got you. I got your back." And so I pray that we just continue, as we continue on this journey, this group devotion together, that we just continue to just reflect on that actions that Jesus did for us, his love and the grace and mercy that he showed us. Alrighty, guys, we'll see you next time.